This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know.
Yes, top of the day to you, wherever you are joining us from. This is the Comrade Show, and my name is Comrade Lante Ikmongusa Oreahi, a proud citizen of the United Kingdom of Great Benin and a citizen of the Nigerian state. I want to thank you for joining us, and particularly Edo people across the world, and of course Nigerians and friends of Nigeria who are interested in matters developing in Edo State. Today is Saturday, the 31st of July 2021, and this broadcast is a follow-up to the broadcast I made yesterday. For those who followed me yesterday, you discovered that I talked about the issues of Okaighel, particularly, talking about the ban on the activities, the clandestine activities of the Okaighelis and all of that. And of course, I did play a footage from ITV where a number of Edo people were trying to, play up sentiment by pitching the government of Edo State against the palace of the Oba of Benin. Of course, I'm going to repeat that footage, and of course, there's been some developments in the course of yesterday and today, and I thought that it is essential I come out to recap these things, because at the end of the day, for those who are following closely, it's very sad, that as Edo people, very many of us appear not to be growing at all, growing with the time and all of that. Certain things within this process have been very disgusting, and it's essential we talk about it, because what is bad and what is good is good. It is essential, and that's why I'm going to, I want to it's going to be a short broadcast. So please, if you are joining me, please help share this broadcast so that, of course, we can give this topic of discourse a proper perspective. But I'm going to start by playing a footage from my TV, okay? But you recall that what has happened was that the governor of Edo State last Saturday came up to ban the activities of Okaighel, former CDA, land grabbers in communities and problem creators for various communities across Edo State and all of that. And some people, thought that was just an opening for them to, create, a non-existent issue between the government of Edo State and, of course, the palace of the Oba of Benin. You'll hear this from this, reportage from my TV. Then we take it from there. Please, let's take a listen again. I'd like to play so that we understand where this matter is developing from. Let's watch the ITV reportage.
On Saturday last week, Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki assented to a bill which reaffirmed the ban of activities of community development associations, CDAs, and all splinter groups, including Okaighel, over illegal activities, forcefully grabbing lands from owners, as well as driving away investors. The action of the governor of Edo State has since elicited commendation from a cross-section of the public. However, in their reaction, some youths allege that the new law is a means to get back at at the Oba of Benin over the recent issue of who is to receive the yet-to-be-returned looted artifacts. They said the Okaighel are like the foot soldiers of the palace of the Oba of Benin in the communities, and that the state government enacted the new law because of the recent meeting they held in the palace of the Oba of Benin and not because of forceful land grabbing.
Before our forefathers, Okaighel has been existing. Without Okaighel, there is nothing done in Benin Kingdom. And Godwin Obaseki is angry because Okaighel II called the Okaighel of Edo, all of them should come to palace because of the issue of artifacts. Because all the Okaighel represent without grievances, he just went to her and said he banned Okaighel. He cannot ban Okaighel. Okaighel belongs to the Oba of Benin.
Communities, Okaighel is made by the Oba. It's not the governor. The governor have nothing to say about Okaighel. I look at it as a disrespect to the monarch, because the monarch is the one that puts Okaighel, not the governor. The governor have no single right to ban it.
If just the terms of that artifact that they want to oppress the Obas to collect, so that is the beef.
It is a wrong step that has been taken by the state government, disbanding the Okaighel. To me, I believe it's taking this action as regard the issues of artifacts.
Others said the practice of Okaighel in the administration of affairs of community has been in existence for centuries, and they cannot fold their arms and watch the long-age practice discarded.
According to the Benin tradition, Okaighel have been existing right from not 100 years, not 200 years. Now, our governor have no right to say there's no Okaighel. That is tradition. Okaighel is a tradition. It's not by the law.
So Okaighel have been existing for many years. Without Okaighel, there is no traditional things that will be done in any community.
It should be aware that Okaighel do exist. So at least it shouldn't say there's no Okaighel is not even working with the government. Okaighel is working directly with the palace, the Oba.
According to the Edo State Governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, the new law is also to ensure the establishment of an agency to regulate administration of land in the communities.
After utilizing that law for a few years, we saw that there were gaps which needed to be filled, and that is why we came to you for a reenactment. With this, we're not only banning community development associations, but all sorts of splinter groups like Okaighel and all that, people who have come up in communities to forcefully take other people's landed property.
Beth Mbiere reporting.
Well, kudos to RTV for that reportage. Yes, credit to them. You know, I feel really, really sad and uncomfortable because of the way, our people, Edo people most especially, appear to be growing. You understand what I'm saying? To be very honest, some of us believe that we need to, advance beyond this level. Now, for those who may not know, the issue of land grabbing in Edo State had assumed an alarming proportion. Some couple of years ago, the Omonoba Neduko Akbolobolo, looking at the reports coming to the palace and the issues of CDAs, they called them Community Development Associations. Okay, these people were involved in serious clandestine activities regarding to community land and all of that. And what they do is they sell land to somebody, they sell to another person, the same parcel of land, they sell to another person and all of that. And they create problems within the communities. And when you are able to raise money and buy a plot of land, when it is time for you to develop that plot of land, they place charges. You want to start your foundation, you are going to pay a certain amount of money. You want to fence your compound, you will pay virtually, you understand what I'm saying now, through your nose, illicitly. And these boys, they gallivant here and there, they became lords. And of course, the Oba of Benin, flagged off, his rejection of a practice like this. The government of Edo State, picked on it, of course, established enabling laws, banning such activities and all of that. And when they saw that CDA matter had been banned, as it were, they now assumed different names as Okaighels, Ohens, different kinds of names, as it were. And they started perpetuating the same kind of thing that they were doing before. So the government, looking at the situation, they had to, look at the enabling laws on the ground, look at the areas, that appear to have loopholes. You understand what I'm saying now? Work on it through the House of Assembly, and of course the governor of Edo State assented to it, to the bill that has become a law. And the government is ready now to set up agencies to look at the issues. People have been shortchanged. People have been wrecked by different community Okaighels and all of that. And the activities, these kinds of activities, is actually what the government is after. And I mean, if for many Edo people, it's a welcome development. A welcome development that ought to bring sanity to the society, to Edo State, as it were. Now, as we speak, the multiple effects of the activities of these people is such that you need to sit down to understand. I mean, I shared a story yesterday. I have somebody in Italy, a lady. She has a very strong contact, with somebody, an Italian, an industrialist who is willing to come and invest in Edo State. She's willing to pull the strings. She can pull the strings, and this investment can produce millions for Edo people, provide hundreds of thousands of employment. But this woman is scared, looking at all of these stories of Okaighels and all of that. There's a different story that affect me personally and affect the state. I talked of Oluku. Today, Oluku community is embroiled in so many wahala with all of these people, community leaders and all of that, because of borrow pit. Some people, Oluku people came together, young men and women, they donated lights. They want us to come and install street lights in Oluku. Today, as we speak, we are not going to install those street lights because of the fight between rival groups and all of that. Why? Because of land. Now, there is no proper planning, there is no proper procedure, there is nothing. They just set the land indiscriminately. And government is willing now to provide leadership, sanitize the system. You understand? Let it be that every area is properly defined. There are places, when you look at the topography, the experts know there are places you are supposed to put a building, there are others you are not supposed to start a building, and all of that. All these guys have no experience, they have nothing. All they are just interested in collect 1 million here, collect 10 million there, collect 5 million there, and all of that. The worst part of it is that they don't even mind who they sell land to. There are communities that have a strong report of communities right now. They have sold virtually all their land to Fulani herdsmen, to herders, because they want to collect money. They are exposing everybody to the dangers of marauders and terrorists and all of those kind of people and all of that, because they are not passing through proper procedure. There are procedures in place how these things are dispensed. Now, what they did, and all the workers of iniquity in Edo State, combining with them, we know, since yesterday I've been getting reports. They quickly connived. They thought that this is a vent, it's a hole, it's a point that they can penetrate to create problem again. They organized themselves. Even when I was having a broadcast yesterday, I got a call immediately after my broadcast. Some people even wrote me to say, man, they are organizing protests right now. And the people behind the protest, well, let me not just go into that. If you have lost the election, okay, look, man, you have lost the election, forget about every other this thing. They combined, brought their people together. I mean, this one way again to create a problem between the palace and the government of Edo State. They've already said, oh, the government is doing this, to get at the Oba of Benin, which is a blatant lie. And I'm glad yesterday I mentioned that I am very sure that the Oba of Benin or Monobane Dokuwa Bolokbolo will definitely back the government of Edo State on this, because he himself is the person who flagged this off, first. As a matter of fact, the credit of this whole sanitization exercise should go to the palace of the Oba of Benin, should go to the Monobane Dokuwa Bolokbolo. And I saw no reason why the palace will not back the government on this. So they will just make all sort of noise. What's it called? The workers of iniquity amongst them quickly connive, got their boys together. They embarked on a protest. For what? For what? Protest to the palace. What are you doing with the protest? You want to pitch the palace against the government of Edo State? Edo people should be careful. They should be careful. They should be careful. Because we cannot be adversaries to development. We cannot be challengers of development and progress in Edo State. Look at, I always make the reference. Edo State is going to be 30 years in August. This is where we are. Just look at. Right now, Nigeria is in disarray. Problem everywhere across Nigeria. Economic problem, security problem, every kind of problem. You expect at this time that it is a matter to your tent to Israel. Let everybody hold themselves together. Let us be united. Let us forge a common front. While you have a few persons who are trying to build, you have so many others who are destroying. As we small reach, we need to be united to forge a direction that is constructive, that is growth, that is developmental, that is progressive. Most of them are still challenging whatever policy that the government comes out with. Is not good. It's not good. It's not good. You cannot come in and create problem between the palace and the government of Edo State. It is retrogressive. It is not beneficial to anybody. These are two wonderful, powerful institutions that we have in this state that we need to protect. Now they came together, brought their boys, they embarked on on a protest. Well, let me play some footage for us. It's very annoying. Now look at them. Those are Edo youths brought together by whoever and whatever to protest. Many of them don't even understand, the terms of their protest. Those who are benefiting from the iniquity, the wickedness, okay, they brought them together, okay, took them to the palace in protests. And the only thing they want to complain to the palace is to tell the palace that the governor of Edo State has banned Okaighel because they know, the role of Okaighel to the traditional institution of Edo State. And meanwhile, that story is true. It's not true. What is true is that the clandestine activities of selling land illicitly, of creating problem in communities, is what the government has banned. And the government has expressed readiness to bring everybody who is perpetrating this issue, this kind of crime, to book. That is what the law is about. The law is not a ban on anybody. The government is not banning anybody or any legitimate group or any legitimate doings. The government is saying all those things that are against the will and the progress of Edo State. They are the things that are bad. Anybody involved in those things and all of that, they will meet with the wrath of the law. Yesterday I said, I expect that the palace will give backing to the governor of Edo State. And that was exactly what happened. And I want to see, Omonobanedo, there is no doubt that the palace is the custodian of good in Edo State. And we must not bring ourselves to ridicule where the palace is or where the government of Edo State is. And that is what a lot of our young men are doing, misguided. But let's play footage. Let's listen to what the message of the Oba, to responding, to the allegations, eventually, came out to be. Let's listen.
Pàtàkì lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀kẹ́dùn. Pàtàkì náà. Audience.
Ayamu macho agbogo wa ubo wa na na eke na we na re bo wa yi uye ba ti gota ya e ma ya bo wa yo e flood o wa ya mi ya fere no ka bo wa no wa igbogo wa o de de ba e go me bi we mama ya fe we na ya bo wa e ya a lele ala do mi we adu ale le ise na ko yo Okaighel na you so wà náà ya wà á léwu náà ní wá tòsí lẹ́bù àgbọ̀ bàdàn lẹ́bù yìí rí ọ̀nà rí ọba rí ọ̀yọ̀ba màláyìn
Ọ̀yọ̀ba.
mẹ́nọ̀wékù wà gbọ́n náà sábà gbọ́n yẹn fi dán bá máa ń dé mìíràn ya wà yín lé dẹ̀kọ̀ lọ́ba náà sì lẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́ so rí ọ̀wékè inú wà yá fẹ́ẹ́ ọba àtọgbẹ. ọba àtọgbẹ ẹgbẹ tó wẹ̀yà.
Ẹgbẹ́ àwọn ẹ̀sùn mú.
Sẹ́yìn ní Okaighel bá ìsì iná náírà yáyọ ká bọ́gbà àgbẹ̀yà ọ̀rẹ́dẹ̀ ọ̀fun. Kátíkátí ni àwọn ìbéèrè ìbà ẹ̀wọ́. Wọ́n mi nùgbẹ́ náà mú ẹ̀ náà. Ní kò tẹ̀wé arrest and prosecute any Okaighel that practice illegality. The PPP law as amended ban Okaighel as an age-grade group in Benin custom and traditional administration in the villages. Ban while the governor signed away youth organizations and all other splinter groups. Noririaki, Okaighel, Vedo, Ave Hunta, Ogave Egele, Ave head, I know. Though we have banned Ave head. Ani deka irototo yiwo avegele yiwo e no zen na analyze ebe na iwe ni gbe wa we o ma ba ni Okaighel in Benin Kingdom Okaighel rewa yoga rewa edion rewa okay da Okaighel ni ana so anyi me no heke ana miewe de menae ozupugeva vigwe ni ye edion ina yawe no ina kai etu ina ka mu ewerio oma mi we yo Okaighel wu imu me so enoze na explain e na ma wa e law ni kai anybody okun no security agent orewa ni okun no religious person in whatever form traditional customer anyone who violate law ni orimwe Wakage law ni when the governor ya sign when the house ya pass if Okparo na gbe yo we prohibition Okaighel error yi oba tokpe ezorewa we nana mi we ona ye ni my bodo ahu we se governor ban Okaighel we are set to be ni ne again no ya comment ona you know our Okaighel because Okaighel they are most active I mean one kind of ono ze mani bona miscontrol we to ban our Okaighel o ma ban ye o ma ban they to we ban wa mi we federal government ga ban mi awa gbon yo awa gbon ladia Mayare wana no ebe. Wam de the federal government ka we yan ban muso, aban ipo. Awa gbe ni aladia. Ona the governor ona, wam make na gbe we Okaighel is prohibited there. So anybody at Amuwa we governor Obaseki ban Okaighel in Benin. Oh you know. And the governor to we Okaighel is a traditional concept. It's an age-grade group in the administration of villages in Benin. Grade by grade, you know. Uma Okaighel, una ya yoga. Una ya nyunye atosina, mawe na yi. We are the other body, we can so, Eddie Mawe na Guaya, Monoba na Guaya. We na Moya, Kate, we know why I walk Okaighel. I will never la. Quite a boa type of having at our head. So, Oze, Nana way, Okaighel. So, I will not have Buwadi. When you want to Buwa, you have one in Buwa. The Tado Gavi Alwe. Oto, Katikato Tonawakana, Oto no one 10 years ago. The Mario Ageni, the Maire Namoye, the new Okaighel. You will turn in here, you will want here, you can't look on it. Barry. It's repugnant to natural justice. So, any here, this amendment PPP law, and they can on an Akabodwan on a Duri High Court, on a Cody Wake. I no caro. PPP ne caroni, and the Mobama Coverio. Oh, Nanania, the High Court, you know, I could yet Kevani. On another one more, ini, our could yet in a court in his our Bugiwa, or Wadiabe, or Yewedo. Straight. So, Ivani, on another dangerous. So, any more like a ball, but we are this. Development, Emagwalo, Mutedo. Land administration, land development, Omaki no problem. Type will not develop Senana, centuries back. I was an enemy or your or Rovinana, another Benin City. The day I'm with the boy again, a boy in the Benin City. So, Rodonania, Moya. I call them one. Young man with me. I Kate, our Okaighel. When I do why? Or your way, River.
Pugivaro.
I didn't know why he
Anyhow, in an attempt not to try to dwell too much, I just want to, thank the Palace of the Oba of Benin. And of course, for backing the government of the state, and of course for standing in line with, what we always know the palace for. And for those who may not know, the government of Edo State has not banned, Okaighel as an institution of the tradition. Okaighel is an age grade, association, so to speak. It's a traditional arm of the Benin tradition itself, and their role is very well spelled out. When I was growing up, members of Okaighel, they were like enforcers of the law as far as my village was concerned at the time. Okay, sometimes when somebody is summoned and the person, is failing to honor the summons, Okaighel are sent to go and bring the person, and such kind of things and all of that. Sometimes the traditional institutions or the traditional rulers send them messages. Okay, but all of this are done within the confines of the traditional laws and norms. But eventually they just spread out of their own what's it called, jurisdiction, and began to do what they have no right to do, creating problems left, right, side, corner, everywhere, and all of that. And they want to get the blessings of the palace and all of that. And that is why they came out with this protest. So they believe that they could lure their way, pretend, their way through, create a picture that is not existing, to say that the government is against the palace, and that is not true. So Edo people, I think my own worry about this is that the way we are easily cajoled, even many of people in the diaspora, I hear them making some very misguided comments, about this particular matter and all of that. I mean, it's not right. It's not right. Let us try to see how much we can protect and defend these institutions, the palace and of course the government of Edo State. Because it's very important we understand this. So kudos to the governor of Edo State. Many thanks to the Palace of the Oba of Benin. Edo must move forward, must be on our collective account, not on the account of any one individual or a few persons. Everybody must be part of the process. You have lost the election, or the person you wanted to win the election did not win. We have gone to court, we have done everything. Now the governor is the governor. Okay, he has a few more years to go. Let us all join hands together to build Edo State, irrespective of your own affiliations. It doesn't matter. It is time to now come home. Well, if you were genuinely interested to build Edo State, haven't lost out of the process, you come into the house and join to build the state. So like again, I think another leader that will take over, from there and keep on moving the state forward. Now, the story we are going to tell 30 years from now will be a lot different from what we are telling right now, because it will be a shame that in under 30 years, Edo State is as stagnant as this. We've been like this for how long? Look at, there are no infrastructures, there are nothing, that we can say, man, Onona is okay, the other one is okay. So I think that if we have a government who's expressing the willingness to change the entire landscape, the kind of decadent political culture we've had, anti-development culture we have, we need to, sit down with that government, criticize constructively where appropriate, join hands where appropriate to move the state forward. We have state-of-the-art infrastructures from airport to seaport to schools to colleges to hospitals to different kind of things. Now we are making him happy and all those things. I will not even hear. As we speak right now, Edo people are all over the world. As the place been built enough? Even as we speak, there are people queuing, begging to be enslaved in the streets of Europe. You think we are happy? We are not happy. You give yourself a name, assume a position that you might guard a position with the only. Look at the state. The state is fighting serious erosion problem. Why are we fighting erosion problem? We are fighting erosion problem because we're a proper planning that this state initially the time of Obamudia plan. We did not hit to the plan. We have built houses where we are not supposed to build houses, blocked, erosion vents and every other thing, and now we are suffering it. We are suffering it. A few persons, are selfish to lead us towards that direction. We all go through that direction, and at the end of the day, everybody is suffering it. Anyway, Okaighele's activities on land grabbing is prescribed. It stands so. And everybody who has been affected by the activities of Okaighele, you have a right to take advantage of this particular opening by government and lay complaint appropriately, so that those who have swindled you, they should be brought to book. It's very important, without fear of intimidation. Anyhow, again, I want to equally give kudos to the governor of Edo State. Apart from just this bill, yesterday I made a comment and I said that the governor of Edo State should leave no stone unturned. If not, they can miss Stormwater project and the 30 billion no labor in the time of Dr. Shomole. We said the governor has said he is going to probe, and I insisted yesterday that we want to know how that matter go. The government must probe that matter, because people should be answerable, to what they have done. We cannot, because you have won an election, who are anyhow. As we speak, some people called me yesterday and they're telling me about local government and stuff like that. And I told them, are you people aware that the last local government administration, Igone Agberu, is running into billions? That's not one lobe, the local government, 18 local government. Igone Agberu is running into billions already. So the kind of systemic corruption that is prevalent in our state, in our system, you understand me? It's such that it's a major blockade to progress. A a major blockade to progress. Now, when personally I looked at the report card submitted by all the 18 and past local government chairmen and all of that, these ones, okay, they've lived up to average. Nothing. And yet, they incurred up to 10 to 12 billion naira in debt in the state. I mean, look, I am calling the government now mutual, now sort it out because we cannot lay our carpet on debt. We need to clear it, and that is what this government should do. But I'm glad Governor Obaseki talking about the Stormwater project. Let me not deviate too much. When he boom, was on his special tour. Of course, looking at the infrastructure concerning road developments and the drainage system and every other thing the government is putting in place. And the governor had quite a tour, and he made some comments which I'm very, very happy about concerning the Stormwater project. If you see, these are pictures of some of the movements of the governor yesterday. I'm going to play footage, where he talked and reminded us of his commitment to ensure that it gets to the very bottom of the matter.
When you finish, you are going to restore this by mode.
Yes, you see, the material is...
When you finish, you are going to restore this by mode.
Yes, you see, the material, we already start to dig what we dig in the front to put it back.
Okay.
To put it back. Because in any case, it's only this one, because the other side, there is no moat. There is no lateral. It's only this portion up to the next culvert, which is that small road. After the other side, there is no moat, nothing.
So this compound is being used by who?
Walk to the south. That's PDP.
What I'm doing is I'm creating a temporary discharging to face this rainy season. With what I'm doing now, if I reach the culvert at TV Road,
Yes.
with the difference of level, I'm able to reduce 1 meter the level at Yoba and at Arosa for this rainy season to mitigate the matter till we connect the full drainage to discharge. You understand? This is what I'm trying to do now, because if you have to jump here, Arosa no fit to discharge, because this level is still higher than Arosa level.
Arosa level.
Yes.
So you still have to take all of this and bring Arosa level down.
Exactly. And the Arosa level is at 3 meters below. And after this one going down, that means after behind the 5 junction, the drainage will become from 3 meters, it will reduce to 2.5, and after to 2 meters, because it's sloping, you understand? But here is the summit of the hill, and we have to dig against gravity to take the water out. That is why it's so deep. What I'm doing is
Like Ochotes and catchment under the Stormwater.
I don't agree that the pace of work is slow, because the last time you were here, that road has not been asphalted. And you can see that in terms of asphalt, they have completed asphalting textile mill roads by, almost, they're almost 3/4 of the asphalting required. They need to put another surface, which I'm sure that shouldn't take time. You also understand that since the last time we're here, it's been raining. It's been in the middle of the rainy season. So I believe that from what I can see, that they've progressed at a much higher pace than I expected that they would. But the most important point to note is that they cannot complete the work without taking care of the drainage, because you know what? It's water that destroys roads. And if you recall that when we came here the last time, we had seen the major problem. That is the drain that was put in place under the rainstorm master plan was not designed to drain water, because you cannot, the discharge point was much higher than the level of the drain that they had constructed to discharge water. So that was what was causing the flooding in this whole area. In the meantime, they had spent almost $200 million, right? $200 million is what they spent under the guise of the rainstorm master plan, which you can see yourself did not drain the water. Neither did they build the roads. And you recall I said I was going to probe that contract, but I wanted to convince myself that it wasn't an issue of witch hunt, that I understood what really happened. And just coming here today to see yourself the remedial work that has been done and the extent of the work, even a blind man can see that whatever they contracted to do under the rainstorm master plan is not what has happened. And like I said, Edo people need to know, because it's a lot of money. And 10 years after, the project has not been completed. So
if I understand you very well, it appears the project is going for a less cost than the earlier.
No, what we've done, for all the work we've done here, including the Okaighel Road and all the drainage, is not 1/3 of what they claimed that they spent on the rainstorm master plan, rainstorm works and the stormwater and all the roads, the adjoining roads. In fact, you saw in the case of Okaighel, there's supposed to be a road there and a drainage, but nothing has happened 10 years after. And in my election promises, I said I was going to build that road. But I wanted to make sure that I am not spending money on a project that they claim that has already been done. But all of this has to be subjected to thorough analysis, thorough investigation, so that we can recover whatever money, taxpayer money, that has been wrongfully taken out of our treasury.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Governor Obaseki. This is a move that is hugely seconded by most Edo people. I know that the workers of iniquity in Edo State would definitely frown at this. Definitely, we need to start having those things that will serve as deterrents. The fact that you are elected into public office doesn't mean that you have, you have a fear to just definitely ruin the state and ruin your office, and that's exactly what we've seen majorly. So we like that the government gets to the bottom of this, and of course, when the government is doing this, by the grace of God, the government is equally setting an example for those coming after her, to equally do the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? And so we want the government of Governor Obaseki to look at the activities of what we have to adapt to Stormwater, and we expect those that will come after Obaseki will equally open the books and look at the areas where they probably think Obaseki may have, swindled the state, and of course open the books, as it were, and all of that, so that whoever is cleared is cleared, who is not cleared is not cleared, so that for those who are aspiring to become leaders at whatever level, they are able to understand that service must be majorly for the glory of service and not for any kind of self-aggrandizement and all of that, to the detriment of the entire society, as it were. So we hope that Edo will grow, and the government of Edo State is doing its best. Yesterday I talked about the Dangote cement factory that we're expecting to open in Okaighel, with the prospect of employing about 6,000 persons. You understand? Primary employment. Secondary employment will definitely be around 20 to 30,000, if not more. And probably at the end of the day, the chain of employment to be guaranteed by that cement factory may just go to around 100,000. And so that's a bright future for Edo State, because we expect that following that, many other investments will spring up. And of course, we are hoping to see too the number of projects that the government is going to commission to mark the Edo 30th anniversary, like I talked about yesterday. But having said that, there is a matter that I had actually contemplated whether I should just leave or not. But the matter is still brewing its head in a way, and I must talk about it, as briefly as possible. Look, I want to talk to Esan people of Edo State. Look, I think we should all use our tongue to count our teeth. You know, some weeks ago, some people assumed some role and began to speak in a very misguided manner, you know, trying to create this sort of divide between Esan and Edo people and all of that. But following that, you know, some of them have very strong voice on social media. Following that, we heard a report of some two persons, you know, who Edo and Esan, you know, who were engaged in serious fights because of this thing. And one person was in coma. And these are people who just listen to some others talk and all of that. They were just instigated and inspired to engage in a serious fight and all of that. A few days back, the same issue, I had a report of some two people, neighbors, living together in the same house, you know, arguing about, you know, now so Edo people, they oppress Esan, now so Esan, they do this, and so, you know, and they just started fighting and stuff like that. You know, I think, look, as infinitesimal as I consider this matter to be, I actually think that if it's a matter, if we are not guided, can lead to very serious problems. And this is the truth. And I want to appeal to all of us. There is no difference between the Esan person and the Edo person, or the Afemai person, or the Auchi person. We are all one people. Unless and until we rise to that position, unless and until we get there to understand that we are all one people, then there's going to be a problem. There's going to be for those who are playing into this game, trying to create issues out of this. I think that we are not doing justice to ourselves at all. How can we listen to some social media presenters and we begin to react in line with what some of these elements who don't even know their left from their right are saying? Esan people and Edo people, they are the same, one are the same. You cannot separate them. You cannot separate them. Some of you have got to listen to some voices, you know, of the Biafra, you know, movement, and you now come to think that you can use that to influence anything. Look, man, don't be misguided. Don't be misguided. We are the united people of the United Kingdom of Great Benin. We are Great Benin people. Whether you are Esan, you are Afama, you are Edo, you are this, you are that, you're all. We are all bonded by one string. The bond, the Esan and Edo bond, okay, transcends your understanding. Everybody in this generation. You commonly hear Esan say Esan Gbedo. Many of you misconstrue it, you know, literally to mean, you know, Esan cannot beat Benin. That is not what it means. There's a story and a history behind that. Esan Gbedo, you know, historically means that Esan cannot be different from Edo. Esan will not assume a different position from Edo. Apparently, Esan and Edo, they are one and the same people. That is exactly what it means. It does not have anything to do with the combat. It means that they must always stand on the same position as one people. So why are we using this generation to create unnecessary problem? Why? In this generation, why? So look, I didn't think I'm going to dwell really on this, and I don't intend to dwell on it really. But I just want to mention it because with these skirmishes of information coming here, some people fighting in Italy, Esan and Edo. Some people try to create a problem in Spain, Esan and Edo, and their neighbors. They be together, live together for years, and they just listen to one broadcast together. They start arguments with each other, and they start fighting. What nonsense! What nonsense! Oh my God. Some of these things are strange, but they are serious. And that's why I'm talking about it. So I just want to appeal very conscientiously. Because whether you like it or not, the bond between the Esan people and the Edo people, okay, it's an unbreakable bond. Our friends, men and women, married to Edo and married to Esan. Left, right, side, corner. We have so many people as adults, as young people, growing up, who share parents as partly Edo and partly Esan. Or Bugbe. So where are you going to start the fight from? Walao. Esan and Edo people, they are one and the same people. They are one and the same people. The history of these two people is in fact, they are twin brothers, to be very honest. And that's the best way I'm going to be able to describe it. So we cannot afford to be sentimental or to play into any political kind of misgiving to want to now create a problem. Beyond politics, we have had things that have bonded us. We have had things that have bonded us so strongly, bonded our ancestors, our parents. And this generation cannot afford to be different. Huh? Edo people, I will equally appeal to us, because I have my own misgiving, particularly with us, the Benin speaking people. You understand what I'm saying now? I must say that majorly, because somehow, where everything I see lately, it opens my eye to where, have we really grown beyond the last 200 years? Have we really advanced as a people? Because somehow our reaction to things, when move beyond, follow the time that we are in. There is no way true development in Magele Sikh can come. It's not going to come. Go to the forest of Libya and see the number of Edo people who are still begging to be enslaved in the streets of Europe. The number of Edo people, just recently, a boat capsized in on the way to Italy. Some Edo people were inside that matter who were. They thought, what they okay, or they perfect. People will not be moving out of the place. And why it's not as good as we expect to be? It's not only government. Our own mindset as a people is a problem. It's a problem. As a people, a mindset in man, it's man. I can't understand it because look, I'm mixed up with, even if I'm not mixed up with other people, I see people express, themselves, their culture, their everything, and all of that, how they relate with themselves. Okima is just too, man. We need to grow. We need to grow, either by force or by hook or whatever. We need to grow. All this, yes sir. It is what we do with politicians, and they keep us there. It's what we do with anybody working or a person of authority. We cannot challenge them to say, man, and demand for a right for our people. We cannot continue to do that. We must have a followership that is equal to the tax. We have a governor right now. We should scrutinize this governor and his government with objectivity and demand for what is right for Edo people. And not be sentimental. Unnecessarily. And we have a culture of who women like Oma. You want to make the next person not to like the person, even if the woman like it or man offended the next person. But because you have a sphere of influence over that person, or the woman like it, a man leg away should not like the person. Life doesn't work like that, man. Life doesn't work like that. I am a strong supporter of the governor of Edo State. I am supporting not because somebody told me to support the governor, because I am convinced to support him. If I lose my support for the governor of Edo State today, it will be upon my conviction where a man now has lost my support. Not because somebody is and we have a lot of people, men will be man. Away omana tine. We are unable to put the matter on scale. The magazine that check and take our own position in okay. I'm talking of followership for crying out loud. A problem in Waniki that is not going to help development. We have had politicians come, swindle us, do all sort of things and all of that. They just go scot-free. For many of us, yes, sir, my Edo people, we need to grow beyond this. If Edo must move and advance properly, all of us need to have our own mind to know what is right and what is wrong, to be able to appraise, not because somebody has said yes, you are going to say yes. Somebody has said no, you are going to say no. And while all that is happening, we have some brothers and sisters, you know, I mean, with all due respect, many of them on social media, anybody walking here in a way that is not instilling any form of confidence. We are what done here, so you just wonder what we are doing now. You see some activities on social media by Edo people. Ahihwe or averuwe. They could do that. Anyway, Edo people, I want to say, well, you know what I mean, Natasha. Just want to say thank you for joining the broadcast. I've seen a lot of persons. Thank you so much. Imade, Texo, thank you. Atalo George, I see you. Efusa Ogeriahi, thank you so very much. VOA. I see you. Osehi on Facebook. Patience Irabo, my very stable sister. Thank you so very much for joining the broadcast. Wesekabo, thank you. I'm hoping that we can actually grow. Henry O on YouTube, I see you. Henry O. Imade, I equally see you. Thank you very much for joining. Anthony Ojibola, God bless. Alice Jones, I see you too on YouTube. Thank you very much, guys, for being part of this broadcast. Please help share this broadcast. We'll keep talking. Marina, I don't know I move here. So me that's my amendment. We were but we need to really grow with the time that we are in. I love the governor of Edo State, honestly. I'm very hopeful that his government will transform Edo State for the better. And but I like that the government is criticized, you know, objectively, constructively, you know, because at the end of it, nobody knows it all. You know, people sometimes fail the amount of criticism. And when you have people like that who are governors, if an illegal will just be sycophants, they tell them what they want the governor to hear. They are unable to brace up to say, "My governor, this is exactly what is happening. This is what we think we should do. You should do." But a lot of people, I can tell you, surrounding the government are people who tell the governor what they want, what they believe the governor wants to hear. They are not bold enough to say, man, to take a different position. You understand what I'm saying now? And I know a problem. And the governor must be receptive to listen to even what he doesn't want to hear. Because they all play their roles towards, you know, shaping his administration. So I'm sure that the Obaseki is a man who's open-minded to that effect. So having man, you know, a sycophant around his government, they should be reviewed. You understand what I'm saying? That everybody must not agree with what the governor says. You know, governor, oh, yes sir. You understand what I'm saying? So we regularly have sacrifice around people maybe who are holding positions of authority and all of that and all that. So for some of us, it's unhealthy. You need to listen to those equally who don't stand on the same position that you stand on policies and all of that, you know. And it's important that the government is able to have a stream of advisors who give him the real information from the street, the feeling of the people. And yesterday, I challenged the governor on the environment in Edo State. Edo is dirty. I challenged the governor to that. You understand what I'm saying now? But even when I challenged the governor, I came to reason again. You understand? I am not expecting the governor where are the local government personnel? Because one of the primary arrangements of our local government is to keep our environment clean. From Oredo local government to Ego, to Ikbobauka, to all of them. Everywhere is dirty. Everywhere is dirty. What are the local government people doing? I know that we don't have local government chairman right now, but we have local government administrators. What are you people doing? How can you people be there? Receiving your own, subvention or whatever is coming to you, and the door is this dirty. We cannot have that. I mean, it was a shame. We had a national sports festival. We had it inside Iwe. Iwiku. And I hold the national sports festival. What sort of arrangement is that? I'm just saying that, man, look, people should be allowed to their responsibilities. So, because Ave Matanana, you know, as far as Edo development is concerned, Unama Gimae, Magawe, they do make enough money, man. And I enjoy everybody for the sake of the growth and development of Edo State. Let us make that sacrifice for the state. That's what some of us are doing. The truth has to be told. Edo is not clean. Edo be. Everybody's complaining. And the government you hear, from the local government level to the state government level, everybody's got a responsibility. The other day, the governor flagged off Operation Clean Up Benin. He had to be enough spearheaded the matter. For 2 days, Edo was clean. After that, nobody continued with that particular culture. What's so doing? So I'm using my broadcast. Please share the broadcast if you are there, but I don't have Edo people. So I'm using this broadcast to challenge the people in authority to begin a quick process of cleaning up Edo State. We cannot have a dirty state, very only. It does not tell where. Or where cleanliness is next to godliness. It make it up nikere, but it'll make sense. Let's clean up our state. Apart from talking of government authorities, from state government to local government to all market women and men, drivers, all of us, we have a role. You guys are not helping the state. And while making the state dirty, your voice, a voice what they are the loudest to say Edo State is unclean. And meanwhile, you are contributing to the uncleanness of the state. We must evolve a culture to understand that every one of us plays a role. And I think that the state government should champion the process and keep the local government on their toes. People should be able to do what they are assigned to do. The other day I came to Nigeria. In Nigeria, I don't know what I had in my hand. Okay, or even like plastic. I had a bottled water. He finished with the bottled water. I had the bottle, the empty bottle. In a squeeze. My younger brother, I don't know what he fear for. You can fear ye. The imam bean, you can drop it. I went away fear for why am I holding I couldn't drop it. I go to the hotel first. I drop a bean away hotel. Because I already have a culture that, for over the years, not training men and women, I must contribute towards cleanliness in the place that I live in. I think Edo can have such a culture as well. Let us evolve a culture, waste management, a culture, effective one. Create a bins, a waste bins or material dustbin. Small ones everywhere. Make everybody be able to buy something affordable. Now here fear a trash ye. They have a central place. Like have you the street. They have a proper management. This it's not a rocket science arrangement. It's working everywhere. And that culture will not take long before everybody gets used to it. Where you don't just you wear your cap, who are fear you wear, who your glass, who fear you cannot wear, anything who fear without detail, nothing. I beg you, if anybody will get here, make it here. For those in authorities, please let us champion this case. So let us make a clean state. Why the government is putting effort to do a lot of structural things is very important, and we are happy, we are glad. The cleanliness of Edo State can go along pari passu. That's what we are saying. So we want the local government councils to take responsibility as much as every other and individuals, market women most especially, and men, and everybody. Let us evolve a culture. Well, let us start from today. Before government can come up with your policy, if you are a market woman and you are listening to these brokers, please, have a rubber bag in Wafilokwa, just keep it aside. Have you way. Let's look for a central place. Why anyhow? Let's clean up Edo State together, all of us. Anyhow, we will stay on this topic. Discuss. We will not leave this matter at all. I will definitely talk to my comrade and friends people on Sunday. Tomorrow, we will still talk about it. So on that note, my bro, I want to say a very big thanks to everybody who has been part of this process, and I want to thank everybody. Please share the broadcast. If you are not following the comrade show yet on Facebook and YouTube, please follow, subscribe, click the notification button, join us regularly. Here we talk about state development and national development, nothing more. When it's time for people to equally call in, we open the lines for people to call in. And I just don't want to receive any this thing. People have tried to call. Apologies, if I take any call. I didn't take any call. I just don't want to take calls. Hopefully tomorrow we may open the lines for people to call into our programs, Coming Our Friends. And don't forget, 5 p.m. tomorrow, Coming Our Friends will be on. And lastly, let me remind us that Edo State celebration is heating up. Very soon we're going to come up with a timetable of arrangement, how we're going to be involved, from the diaspora. Like I said yesterday, a lot's already ongoing. Have shown us the what's it called, the logo of the celebration, and I think I've shown us previously. Do I still have it somewhere? That logo. Let me see if I still have it somewhere. I think I want here so. Edo State celebration. Okay, this is actually the logo. Edo State. This is the official logo of the celebration, and I can tell you that a lot of people in the diaspora are very much part of this. They are working to ensure that we give a good representation as far as the diaspora is concerned. And I want to give kudos to all those people who have been working very hard on this. So a lot of planning is going into this. People from across the world, they've come together under the diaspora arrangement headed by our sister Dr. Loretta Agboroko. Of course, the one that the government of Edo State has equally assigned to help coordinate the program. And so a lot is going on in that direction, and we expect a bumper celebration, beautiful one. It's Edo to the world. For this event, the world will definitely notice that there's a place called Edo State. So on that note, my people, I want to say a big thank you. You can key into this, give us a call. We'll let you know how you can key in and be part of the process. Of course, it's something that we want to make very loud, make loud noise about, So on that note, Edo people, I want to say a very big thank you for joining once again. Everybody, Wayawesi, Don Leki, I see you watching, my brother. Thank you. Adamsi Akani, thank you so very much for joining. And many of you guys, thank you so very much. So until I see you again, hopefully tomorrow, may God bless you. May God bless Edo State. May God bless the people of Edo State and the government and the governor of Edo State. May God bless Nigeria. My name is Comrade Lamte Moussa Oreahi, a proud citizen of the United Kingdom of Great Benin, and I'm signing out. Bye for now.
This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show wait. Comrade Lamte Oreahi, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show